Overcommitment feels like being buried alive under the weight of your choices. You said yes too many times, and now the consequences hit. Stress, burnout, and exhaustion. There's a darkness creeping into your mind, a growing sense of being trapped with no way out. But the Stoics knew this feeling well. They believed that through discipline and perspective, even the heaviest burdens could be managed. This isn't about running from overwhelm. It's about confronting it and coming out stronger. Let's explore how. So our first one is, reclaim control by saying no. You've made promises, agreed to meetings, and taken on projects that now seem impossible to handle. The thought of saying no felt wrong at the time, perhaps out of guilt or fear of disappointing others. But Epictetus would have urged you to recognize your limits. It's not things that disturb us, but our view of them. You fear letting people down, but by overcommitting, you're letting yourself down. Each new yes chips away at your peace, your control over your own life. In reality, saying no isn't selfish, it's survival. You can't give what you don't have, and stretching yourself too thin guarantees failure on multiple fronts. The next time a request comes your way, pause. Is this something you can realistically handle without sacrificing your well-being? If not, let go of the guilt and say no. It's better to refuse up front than to crumble under the weight of obligations later. The Stoics taught that our energy is finite, and protecting it isn't weakness, it's wisdom. You regain control not by doing more, but by being selective about where you invest your time. Second, focus on what you can control. Deadlines loom, tasks multiply, and the pressure mounts. It feels like the world is closing in, and no matter how hard you push, things keep slipping through the cracks. This is where the Stoics deliver their most powerful lesson. Focus only on what you can control. Imagine yourself standing in a storm. The winds howl, the rain beats down, but there's a circle of calm at your feet. That's your mind, your decisions. Everything outside of that circle, the deadlines, the demands, the expectations, are beyond your control. Epictetus said, some things are up to us, and some things are not. Most of what overwhelms us are things we cannot change. Yet, we burn ourselves out trying to manage them. Redirect your energy to what lies within your control. Your effort, your focus, your choices. The rest, let it go. The storm will rage, but if you center yourself in that circle of calm, you will weather it. Release the need to fix everything, and instead focus on doing the best with what's within your grasp. This is how you transform chaos into clarity, by narrowing your gaze to what truly matters. Third, the power of prioritization. Picture a ship lost at sea, overwhelmed by waves. The captain knows that to survive, he must jettison what isn't essential. The same applies to you. When you overcommit, your focus scatters, leaving you lost in a storm of tasks. But the Stoics remind us that we are responsible for what we allow into our lives. If you seek tranquility, do less, said Marcus Aurelius. The solution is not to do everything, but to prioritize what matters most. When you feel overwhelmed, take a hard look at your commitments. Not everything deserves your time or attention. What are the key responsibilities that align with your goals, values, and well-being? What can be cut, delayed, or delegated? Ruthlessly prioritize. Every time you eliminate a non-essential task, you take back control. This isn't about abandoning your duties, but about freeing yourself from those that serve no real purpose. The Stoics saw this as living in accordance with nature, doing only what is necessary, and letting the rest fall away. By focusing on the essentials, you don't just survive the storm. You sail through it with purpose and clarity. Fourth, master the present moment. Overwhelm often comes from thinking too far ahead. The tasks for tomorrow, next week, next month, they swirl in your mind, creating anxiety and paralysis. But the Stoics understood that the future is not in your control. Do not let the future disturb you. You will meet it with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present, Marcus Aurelius wrote. The only moment you truly have is now. Yet, how often do you lose it, distracted by future concerns? Imagine carrying a heavy boulder. If you try to carry it all at once, the weight crushes you. But if you break it into pieces, the burden becomes manageable. Your commitments are no different. Focus on what needs to be done right now. Forget about tomorrow, next week, or the end of the month. The present moment is all that matters. When you master it, the future will take care of itself. Overwhelm thrives when your mind drifts beyond today's horizon. Stay grounded in the here and now, one step at a time, one task at a time. This is the Stoic path to overcoming the paralyzing weight of overcommitment. Fifth, accept the unavoidable. There will always be things you can't avoid. Family obligations, work deadlines, sudden crises. These demands feel like shackles, pulling you in every direction. You might resent them, wishing you could escape. But the Stoics would ask you to reconsider. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way, Marcus Aurelius reminds us. What if, instead of resisting, you embrace these challenges as part of your path? Some commitments are unavoidable, and fighting against them only deepens your sense of overwhelm. The Stoic approach is acceptance. Instead of viewing these obligations as chains, see them as opportunities to practice resilience and patience. Life will throw obstacles at you, but each one is a chance to grow stronger. Next time you feel overwhelmed by something you can't avoid, don't resist it. Face it with the mindset that this too is part of your journey. By accepting what you cannot change, you free up energy to handle the things you can. The obstacle itself becomes the way forward. The weight doesn't disappear, but your approach to carrying it transforms. Sixth, find strength in simplicity. The more complex your life becomes, the heavier it feels. Each new commitment adds layers of complication, and soon, you're tangled in a web of your own making. Seneca warned against this when he said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Complexity breeds overwhelm, but simplicity is where you find strength. Take a step back. Look at all the things cluttering your mind and schedule. How many of them are truly necessary? Strip away the excess. The Stoics believed in living simply, focusing on what is essential. This doesn't mean neglecting your responsibilities. It means cutting out the noise, the distractions, the unimportant tasks that drain your energy. When you simplify, you reclaim your time and your power. Complexity leads to confusion, while simplicity sharpens your focus. You don't need to juggle every ball. Sometimes, it's enough to carry one with clarity and purpose. The lighter your load, the farther you can go. Start by asking yourself, what can I let go of today? Seventh, detach from outcomes. Overcommitment often stems from a desire to control the outcome of every task you take on. You want everything to be perfect, everyone to be pleased, every goal to be met. But the Stoics teach a different way. Focus on the process, not the result. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, said Marcus Aurelius. When you tie your worth to outcomes, you become a prisoner to circumstances beyond your control. No matter how hard you work, there will always be factors you cannot influence. The presentation might fall flat. The project might fail. Detach from the need for everything to turn out perfectly. Instead, put your energy into doing your best in each moment. By releasing the need to control every outcome, you free yourself from the stress that comes with it. The more you detach from results, the more peace you will find in the process. In this, you are no longer overwhelmed by the fear of failure. You simply do your part, knowing that the result is out of your hands. Eighth, cultivate inner stillness. Amid the noise of obligations, the chaos of commitments, and the rush of time, there is one place you can always retreat to, your inner stillness. This isn't avoidance, it's armor. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Often, the overwhelm we feel is a mental construct, a storm in our minds. But within you is the power to create calm, no matter how chaotic the outside world becomes. When the pressure builds, take a moment to breathe. Quiet your thoughts. The Stoics practiced this as a form of mental discipline. They knew that without inner stillness, the world's demands would tear them apart. But with it, they could face any challenge, no matter how overwhelming. In the silence of your mind, you find clarity. The tasks before you seem less daunting, the chaos less invasive. By cultivating inner stillness, you regain control over your emotions and reactions. You become less susceptible to the turmoil that external pressures bring. Your focus sharpens, and you can approach each challenge with a renewed sense of purpose. Inner calm is not about escaping reality. It's about mastering it. In the eye of the storm, you find strength and resilience. In the relentless tide of overcommitment, the true power lies not in battling the chaos, but in mastering your response to it. By embracing Stoic wisdom, you transform overwhelming burdens into manageable challenges, finding strength in simplicity, perspective, and inner stillness. You are not a prisoner of your commitments, but a master of your own reactions. The path forward is clear. Reclaim your focus, prioritize your energy, and confront each day with calm resolve. Ready to dive deeper into transforming stress into strength? Discover more insights in our next videos. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel, and explore the end screen for more powerful strategies to reclaim your life.